If you're new to Rivet patterns or PDF patterns at all, learning how to assemble your printed pattern can be a little challenging. It's not really hard, but it's just different if you've never done it before. I'm Lara, one of the owners and designers here at Rivet Patterns. You've already learned how to print your Rivet pattern. Well, if you haven't, check out the description below and I'll link it above as well. But you've already learned how to print your pattern and you have your pattern right here ready to go. But you've never assembled a Rivet pattern before, or maybe you're just new to PDFs. I'm going to take you through every single page. All right, here we go. As you can see, I've got the first page of the Cadence barrel bag. Now, all of our patterns, whether they are bags or garments, they all go together the exact same way. Let's look at some of the things that you're going to see on every single pattern piece, or every single pattern. This is the first page. Every first page will have the same kind of things like the name of the pattern and so on. The first thing we're going to notice is right here. This is a measurement to make sure that your pattern has been printed correctly. So you have a 1-inch square and you have a 4-centimeter square. Use the one that you want to use, and you want this to be exact. If it isn't exact, then you need to go back to your printer settings and you need to make sure that you've got that worked out first and foremost, okay? So I will link to the printing guide that video below in the description box, so that if you have any questions or any trouble, you can reference that. All right, so you'll see that. Additionally, you'll see a line down the right side, a guideline down the bottom, and a guide partial circle here in the right-hand corner. This is the first page. The second page will look slightly different, but just barely. All right, so that's what you're going to see. So let's lay out our first page and then let's look at our second page. All right, here is page 2. You will see that it looks almost identical to page 1. You've got your guideline on the right, you've got your guideline on the bottom, you've got your partial circle guide here, but you'll see on the left-hand lower side, you'll see a partial circle there. So that's for lining up with this circle on the bottom right of the previous page. All right? So what you're going to do is you are going to line up these guidelines. You're not going to go over the guidelines, right? You're going to go just up to. So you're still going to see the guideline on the previous page. And you're going to line up your circle as well. I like to use tape. Some people like to use glue. You use what you like the best. All right, now one thing to remember is that every printer is different. And none of them, literally none, are perfect. And they will pull the pages slightly different and inconsistently, and so you might have a little bit of shift in the pages. If it's just a tiny bit, don't worry about it. You're going to line up your pattern pieces. It's going to be fine. If it's a huge shift, well, that might be a different story that we need to take a closer look at and refer again to our printing guide. All right, so we have the same thing for page 3. It is exactly the same as page 2, so we're going to take our page and we're going to line up just to this this right side guideline and just to the circle, and then we're lining up the bottom. All right, and we're going to give that a little tape. All right, now page 4, exactly the same as page 3 with one difference. If you look closely, you'll see there is not a guideline on this end here, and that is because we're done with this row. Now, each pattern might be a different number of pages. Being that this is a bag pattern, it has less pages than, say, a garment pattern. So this may go out to 6 pages or 8 pages on this end. All right, not a big deal. It'll be obvious when to move on to the next row. And also for the garment patterns, there's like a print guide that shows how many pages in each row. So you can reference your garment pattern for that. All right, now we're moving on to the next row. I'm moving this over just a little bit here. And we're on page 5. It looks exactly like page 1 with the exception of it has an upper circle here, right? So you have that so that you can line it up here. Really isn't a difficult thing to do, but sometimes if you've never done it before, it's slightly confusing. So we're going to line up the top edge just up to this bottom guideline. All right, we're not going over, we're going just up to and lining up our right guideline here. And we're going to give it a tape or glue. All right, now let's look at page 6. All right, so this one's slightly different than the others. This is super simple. You still have your right hand guideline. You've got your bottom guideline. You've got your bottom right circle, your bottom left circle, but now you've got a circle at both the top corners. And that's just to line up, just like we've been doing. And you just keep going. And I place tape at all of the intersections where a pattern piece, connects. And you can see here, right here, hopefully you can, it's shifted a little bit. My page has shifted in my printer. And so this line from this main panel piece isn't quite lining up perfectly. That is okay. I'm not worrying about it. All my guidelines line up okay. Slight All right, so here we have all 12 pages of the Cadence Barrel bag assembled. Now all I need to do is cut out the pages or cut out the pattern pieces and get my fabric all cut out and get to sewing. Well, now you know how to assemble a Rivet PDF pattern. I hope you enjoyed your time with me today, and I will see you soon. Bye.